On this video, I'm unboxing and reviewing the Rebel U-Wing fighter. Hi, it's Dave the Dead here, and on this video I'm continuing my Road to Andor Season 2 with a look at some Rogue One vehicles, figures, anything really that bridges the gap between Rogue One and Andor. This vehicle was from the original Rogue One line back in 2016. The Rogue One line didn't feature any super articulated action figures. It was sort of a back to basics line, a bit like The Force Awakens. I do think some of the sculpts were particularly good. The likes of Saw Gerrera come to mind. But yeah, we don't have many figures from the movie or indeed the Andor series in the super articulated, what we now know as the Vintage Collection standard. I'm going to review the U-Wing fighter. This is the only version of the ship that's been released up until now. I only acquired it recently. I wasn't really wasn't blown away by it at the time of release. You'll see why, I think, as we go through this unboxing. It is a little underscaled. I'll bring in an X-Wing fighter alongside it, I guess, for comparison, but really this should be a big ship, kind of like the Ghost and the Millennium Falcon, but we're unlikely to get this in that sort of scale. It would be a HasLab in this day and age, and I just don't think the U-Wing is that high up on the list. You can see that it comes with these Nerf bullets. These were very, that they came in with many of the ships of that time. The TIE Striker comes to mind, and the A-Wing, the Rebels A-Wing. Love them or hate them, they were just a part of the line. Not my bag, but this is a kid's line, and that's what Hasbro went with. So the artwork's pretty good. I did like the Rogue One style. I thought the figures looked really good on those card backs. It's a shame that we got, the sort of the basic point of articulation in the figures. There is one typo on the box. You'll see a study troop transport. I think that will be sturdy troop transport used by the Rebel Alliance. Okay, right, well there are some play features here. The wings do swing back. There is obviously that Nerf gun feature. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get this open. Okay, straight out of the box, there's some assembly required here. It does come with this pack-in Andor figure. I don't think there's anything particularly exclusive about this. There was a 2-pack Andor and a Trooper that I'm pretty sure this guy came with. It's not a bad likeness, actually, as far as the 5POA line goes, and he does come with his blaster, obviously. Yes, you'll see, again, just the undersized nature of this vehicle. The cockpit will only fit one figure. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, now that's everything out of the box. We get the usual instructions and, well, I say a pamphlet, just the usual small print, the warning labels. Yep, okay. So we've got 2 long wings, we've got a couple of Nerf darts, and a bit of assembly required. The main cockpit opens outwards, enough to fit one character in. Obviously, you can, if you're aware of the movie and this ship, then you know just how undersized that actually is. But yes, this was a kid's toy line, so there's not going to be too much criticism of this vehicle. It's, it was meant for kids in this toy line. So we're going to assemble the wings and then I'll show you the play features. All right, interestingly, that's a bit tight. Doesn't necessarily want to go on. Or come off. Okay, that was a little harder than it needed to be. So you've got the 4. You've got the 4 wings. Well, 4 wings. You've got 4 thrusters at the back. They only go a certain way. They are sort of they've got little shapes on the inside, which means they can only go in one slot, which is kind of nice. So you can't get them in any other position really with them. Again, with a bit of weathering, actually, this would look really cool. Obviously, it's just got the two splashes of blue and orange. Otherwise, oh, and grey. Otherwise, it's sort of just an off-white vehicle. Okay, 2 big wings to go. Okay, I mean, that is quite a big wingspan, in fairness. You know, it's actually it's wider than the table, you can see there. So actually that wingspan's probably maybe just a little bit shorter than the length of the Falcon. But yeah, the rest of it's it does have nice wing action, I'll give it that. There are the wings from the back. Not going to bother with these Nerf bullets, you don't need them. There's no stickers, so that's a positive. There's no other assembly required, really. There are some feet. They're not mechanized in any way. I think you just pull them out. Retractable landing gear. Okay, so it stands. Those wings actually are quite satisfying. Yeah, they work really well. You see other ships from around this time, I think like Poe's X-Wing from The Force Awakens, and the plastic was really soft, and yeah, the guns were like bent and warped. This is really solid, and that mechanism, that wing mechanism, that really is good. That's not gonna wear out anytime soon, I don't think. So that's something going for it. We're gonna put a figure in. We'll put the figure that came with the ship. So that'll be Cassian Andor. One good thing about this figure, it's got a working holster, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, okay. Oh, nice stiff limbs as well, which is always satisfying when you get a new figure. You get that crack when you crack the limbs. Right, let's stick him in. So the cockpit opens outward like so. Let's stick him in. He pretty much just lays down in it. Can we get a close-up of Andor in the ship? You can't really see him, to be honest. Let's move the wings back. See if we can get him a bit closer. Well, so I don't know what that yelp was. Yeah, no, it looks all right, isn't it? Can he sit upright a bit more in it? Yeah. But yes, anyone that's seen Rogue One and knows the ship knows that it really does have should have 2 characters in the cockpit. Let's bring in like the Rogue One K2SO. So this isn't the vintage collection version. That's still up on the shelf. You can't see it because it's the shelf above. This is going to be a tight squeeze. But there you go. Buddies in their U-Wing. Actually, I might just have them like that. I will bring in the Rogue One X-Wing just for a size comparison. We'll just go handheld for this bit. They are actually the same, kind of the same size, but they're not meant to be, obviously. The U-Wing is meant to be a lot bigger, but you can see, yeah, they're kind of, you've got the, I would say that's almost exactly the same size, isn't it? Obviously the wingspan goes far wider. Obviously it's not got any of the weathering that the X-Wing has got. This is Antok Merrick's X-Wing. This is obviously the vintage collection version with its lovely weathering and droid. I don't have Antok Merrick in the cockpit. That's a story for another day. But yes, the U-Wing, where can we pan to? The U-Wing really should be more like the Millennium Falcon. There's another size comparison. You can see it actually does. It is longer than the X-wing once you got the wings forward like that. If it was supposed to be the same size as the X-wing, this would be just absolutely nailed it with a bit of weathering. But obviously, you know, it's supposed to be a much bigger ship. Weathering would certainly improve it, but still doesn't solve the fact that it is incredibly undersized. But again, this was a kids line, not intended for the adult collector. This isn't the vintage collection that we have come to know and love. But it's a solid pickup nonetheless. I don't know where it's going to go. If we go around here, I've got a couple of shelves for Rogue One era. We've got obviously the vintage collection tank. If we're putting the U-wing on, it's going to take up pretty much the length of the Billy bookcase that I've got here, but I think it might go in there. They're quite short shelves, possibly a bit too tall for this one here with my Rebels. But yeah, I think it will probably go in here. I'll move the tank down. Maybe the tank can go with the Mandalorian section, and I'll have some of these sort of Rogue One figures dotted around it. All right, here's the U-wing. Just on the shelf with a selection of characters from Rogue One, from the Rogue One line. So none of these are vintage collection figures apart from Chirrut Imwe, which is a little frustrating because I actually did just turn up the room looking for the Rogue One Chirrut to go with the rest of these. There's a couple of little bonus figures of the droids and Leia, not officially part of the Rogue One line, but they do fit all the same. Yeah, you can see the ship in the back. Yeah, I think that's probably where it's going to go for now. I need to just fill in this little corner, which I haven't done yet. Maybe I'll put the Rebels A-wing, because that probably will fit, and maybe some other Rebels characters sort of in the same sort of style, like the sort of basic articulation as opposed to the vintage collection figures that you see here. Okay, well that's it from me. There'll be plenty more Andor content coming, the Road to Andor, so we'll show off some vintage collection figures from Rogue One and the Andor series, maybe discuss what's coming next, what we want to see next in the line, vehicles, playsets, HasLabs even. Well, yeah, stay tuned to the channel for more content like this. If you've liked what you've seen, please consider dropping a like. Does help me out. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and comment below. What did you make of this ship at the time? Have you picked it up? Do you think you'll get it? And the Rogue One line in general. Again, limited articulation, but you can't knock the sculpts. I think the sculpts are some of the best we've ever had in the sort of more limited articulation scale. Some are in desperate need of a vintage collection update, but there we go. Okay, the U-wing from the Rogue One line. I've been Dave the Dead. See you next time. Bye bye.